People, you don't think I see you crying in your cars, but I do. Sometimes I can feel it at a red light, someone at my side trying to muddle through. See them wiping their eyes in their rear view, like black hole sun in the sky. Why the fuck won't you come when I need you? Well, this moment in time is as close as we'll be and as far as I'll meet you. Two windows in between us, new moon in the house of Venus. One stranger who sees you and reads your features knows that your alibi might be tight, but it's not quite leak-proof. So if you're sitting at the light and you're crying in your car, just know that I see you. And it's a 50-50 that I'm bloodshot, gun-shy, once bitten, twice tried, ribs pried wide to the sky till I'm see-through.
That's you, in case you don't recognize yourself.
You don't think I see you struggling to breathe, but I do. I see you stumble in your everyday grief like I do. I try, but I do. I'm twice bitten too. My mind's split in two. My knuckles bright white from the 10 to the 2. And the song in my head is the theme for a fugue, a state of decay through the filter of corporate news, where they edit the grays and the blues. They whitewash the brown till they drown out the natural hues. And then it's just another fact to refuse, that the corporate ladders for hanging the company noose. Consider it one of your perks, after all it's communal in use. So you can come and hang till your legs go limp and they're shaking you loose. Now you watch 5 co-workers opt for the alternate exit, neatly suspended above where you wolf down your food. And your company gets its incentives embellished by harping on wellness, suggesting you'd best take time for your mental health after your 14 hours are through. News. Like we gave it one of your perks after all the noose on the crossbeam. Christ, what more can we do? So if you struggle to breathe any moment that you aren't asleep, then remember, most of Americans fear for their savings, fear for their shelter, fear for their babies. You aren't the fringe of exception, but rather a perfect example of capital's rule. And you're far less alone than the ruling class tells you is true. You're far less alone than the ruling class tells you is true. I see you crying in your cars, but I do.
Who are these people? 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 Who are these people?
I watched a man decide to stand up for us, and I watched them take him away. So I had to break down your respect for the process, but the process won't be saved. Hi, I'm Nancy, and I love ice cream.
I enjoy it.
But not as much as watching people forced out of their homes.
I like it better than anything else.
Watching people forced out in the streets to live alone, and knowing that I own every homeless set of bones.
I don't know why, but it seems to agree with me. I have a lot of energy.
It's all more support from my hideous and ill-gotten throne, the weight of which is too much for you to bear alone. Which is why you ended up threadbare alone, kicked off your benefits and left to your own. The diner that you worked at was told it could open its doors, but there's no clientele, and it's probably just as well, because half of the staff didn't last, so they can't come to work anymore. You can't expect a corpse to pull itself through the door to flip omelets for $8 an hour anymore. Make your own food, clean your own floors, fake your own news, fill a whole morgue. Get a film crew out front, but don't let them in the doors. Let's keep it frontline heroes, America's soldiers, you know the score. Joe knows the score. I watched a man decide to stand up for us, and I watched them take him away. So I had to break down your respect for the process, but the process won't be saved.
Who are these people?
Stop saying the election is so goddamn important and start telling Joe he needs to rein in his supporters. Oh, that's right. Joe can't even rein in his tongue behind his resin molars. Pardon me for asking for some faculties from someone who is vying to control us. The man is not quite yet speechless, but you can bet he's soulless. And if you think he can stop the greatest threat that's ever held a public office, you might be Joe's equal in the ignorance department. But I can guarantee you we will finish what we started. A rabid coalition of activists and politicians, sex workers, educators, artists. Those of us who followed Bernie so close and fell the farthest. Who will not falter until all of us are cared for, regardless of whether it would turn a profit. Now I am not a leader or a teacher or a prophet, but I am here to proudly say today is the day I start campaigning for the role of Speaker of the House that we will build from the bones of the old Congress. And when I say bones, I do not mean framework or stones, I mean literally bones of the old guard keeping us from progress. Tonight's the last dawn before things get their darkest. Tonight's the last dawn before things get their darkest.
Who are these people?
The calm before the storm, the calm before the harvest. Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right.
Who are these people?
Tonight's the last dawn before things get their darkest. Lips, brand new taxes, starving all the billionaires and neutering their Visa Maxes. Topple Congress off their axis, mobilize the homeless, give them axes, call it praxis. Chop a couple limbs off the legislative branches. We'll show you the difference between air as a human right and guaranteed oxygen access. Octogenarians who barely know what day it is are culling countless citizens while sitting on a dais made of ignorance that was built on the graves of the slaves made to labor for its self-declared significance. And all to build a Congress full of millionaires who make their fortunes insider trading while they shit on all the indigent. So I got a bone to pick with our leaders, and I'll start with the ligaments. Pick right through the muscle, dig the marrow out, and serve it to the unhoused millions living in their minivans or watching their belongings get evicted from their tenement. I have a dream where we breach the walls of Congress and just let them in. And what happens next will survive in only text, cause there won't be any evidence. There will only be that heavy kind of feeling that pervades a space where there has been a reckoning and you can feel its remnants. Let any man who enters seeking power know that those who came before him suffocated on their eminence. That there once was a seal on the wall, but we quartered it and scattered all the pieces that it might prevent its semblance. And so we end the great experiment. We'll take all your billions, leave you 2 coins for the ferryman. Leave you drifting on a Dutchman floating derelict among the wretched seraphim. For holy is the hand that wiped the land clean of those who pose as gentlemen. That's my time, honey, cue the thunderclap and strike the theremin. And so we end the great experiment. Give you 2 coins for the fairy.
Hey, what about you, eyeballs? What did you see?
It couldn't have been me, sir. I was front row in my AOC t-shirt, foie gras sucking on a press release, sir. My head down, 4th shot, good little sheep, sir. Sit down, sweetie. The adults are gonna speak first. They trust the science and they're terrified of research. Here to thank our healthcare heroes, they've been feeding to the burnout, feet first. Until suddenly they dip mid-shift, take a header off a bridge. Such a shame, they were really such a sweet nurse. Now they'll never get the card and the cold slice of pizza meant to thank them for their teamwork. Now they'll never get the baggie full of checks mixed, which would be the one reward they'd see for the moms they had to intubate. And the countless cries of grief since we've been haunted by the specter of the C word. Now all the applause for our healthcare heroes rings a very hollow note because we played it out like Freebird. See, add the ones and zeros in our fragile checks and balances, or checks for all the wealthy who have such unholy talents that we think it's patriotic that we all got 0 balances. And re-elect Pelosi so she'll face our toughest challenges, which is analogous to water for a drowning man. Nancy disregards our impoverished with a spiteful and dismissive little waving of her withered hand. Cause 500,000 freezing on the streets is Biden's winter plan. And I bet you swore they told you you were voting for a different man. But really all you wanted was a different man. It didn't make a fucking difference if he finishes the previous inhabitant's agenda and starts auctioning protected land. Biden's born to leap at any war a donor's check demands. Turns out that you can't cure greed once it infects a man. Once they lose respect for human life and focus all their fucking efforts on the oil baron rescue plan. Honey, what are we to Hecuba or Hecuba to us that if she's starving we should give a damn? Why should we be moved to tears if someone isn't eating? We won't even recognize that food is essential to our being. It's just us and motherfucking Israel who will not guarantee that food's a basic human right. Because starvation is our favorite tool of genocide disguised as sanctioned democratic healing. That's me in the corner, losing my religion, gouging out my eyes and then dancing on the ceiling. Jesus fucking Christ, what a feeling.
Hey, what about you, eyeballs? What did you see?
They won't let you go, set you free, send you home. Wait, please say you know what you need is what you owed. And they won't let you go, set you free, send you home. was close enough to smell the fire. Jesus took the wheel and then he kicked me off the ride. I was busy shouting at myself from in the crowd, about to throw down and drag myself outside. I had to give myself the business. When I show myself forgiveness, it goes right between the eyes. Was looking past my shoulder, never focused on the prize. I stalked myself through burning sand, the better part of 40 nights. Between the eyes, myself staring in the mirror, looking past my shoulder, never full light. Cause I was in the rear view, staring at the highway, horrified. I was in the road ahead, arms wide, ready to be mummified. Gonna be the fella yelling how he's sick of always betting on his life. I'll also be the guy that brought the dice. Half a dozen chambers and I keep an empty 5. Only needed one to break the ice. Only needed one to clear my mind. Only needed one to stop time. Wait, please say you know. What you need is what you owed, and that won't let you go. Set you free, send you home. That brought the dice.
I don't know why there's no sound. There should be sound. Hi, everybody. I'm cutting in early because I know there's no sound. The meter going. Ah, now we're back. Hi.
Hi, everybody.
I am solemnly requesting that you come here and that you check out our 50th show here. Wow, this does have a little bit of a little bit. This does have a little bit of a Bernie look to it with the white hair and the suit and everything. That was not
the hair
really
is just alive. The hair is aggressively.
That was not really the full intent, but that's kind of funny now that I'm taking a look at it and I did the voice. It really kind of bothers me. Okay, I'm gonna have to change the color on the tie. I was doing it more like as a Trumpy troll. Hi everybody! Oh, by the way, this is American tradition. Everybody, we're here.
How do these people get here?
It's not just me and Jesse hanging out talking, but we could do that for a while. That's what happened to Jesse last week. He had the Kung flu. That's right.
Brutal flu too. The full body aches and chills. Just I was in the shape of a question mark for several days. It was not fun. Would not recommend.
Okay, so did we have sound or did we not have sound for the theme song? Because it seemed to me like I didn't see
I had
any.
it open on YouTube on my phone, and I had sound at least for the intro music.
Okay, well then that's better than I thought it was. That's good because I didn't
feel
see
like
it.
if people couldn't hear us now, we would have seen something about it by now.
No. They definitely can hear us now for sure.
There we go.
But the music, I'm not so sure. So that's why I jumped in. But
I heard music through there. So
animators, I hear monkeypox cures kung flu. I don't know about that. That's a rumor. Safe and effective. Safe and effective. I don't know. That's a rumor. So we are. Yeah, this is it. This is 50. So
how did we do it? 50 episodes. My God.
Well, I hit 50 years old, and we hit 50 episodes all the same year. They said it couldn't be done, and we're here.
And look at us
so
now.
look at us now. So the floor is yours. I don't know what you want to do.
We're gonna keep making episodes as long as it's legal. Well, I got a decent little list of stuff to do. A few things that I've maybe done once or twice on the show, and
one for sure that we've never done. Maybe two. I thought we did one of them once, but who knows? They all blur together. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what we get into tonight. And obviously, if someone's got something they really want to hear, it's not like we won't try. So, yeah, I can't believe 50 episodes, man. I really can't.
Right.
Which means there's probably a good 100 hours worth of content from this show by now.
Well, at least, and look, that's how
we've
we've
had a
been
couple
able
3 and 4s, you know. So
well, we've been able to make clip shows, and I just finished clip show 27. And yeah, we remixed some songs from some episodes, and we've used some 5 or 6 or 7 times out of 27 episodes. And we've done Sue stuff, and we've done covers. I barely even touched the covers on most of the clip shows.
Mm-hmm.
But we used to do whole shows full of covers for a while. And then there were all the listening parties.
YouTube isn't so fond of that.
No,
anymore.
they're not so crazy about it. And then we did the listening parties when you launched a new album, and I think we've done 3 of those. Sky Slam Chuck.
Remember when I put out albums? Remember when I did new albums?
Well, I am eagerly I am sitting on an entire album's worth of live performances,
right?
Previewing what's going to be on the next album.
Yep.
So
that's it. I was telling Jess last night that like I feel like I really need to get this album done, if for no other reason than I don't know how much longer we'll have a platform. They're very quickly trying to pass stuff to, revoke your citizenship for criticizing Israel. So like my window's closing real fast, folks. I feel like this might be the last one that I can like literally not have to worry. I don't know. Not that I never worried some before, but like it's definitely the free speech. I don't know. There's going to be a big asterisk slapped onto your constitutional rights really, really quickly. They were already trying to draft no matter who we had in office, they were going to try to criminalize dissent against Israel. Not anything other than full-throated support of the war would be a criminal offense,
punishable by prison.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the concern for sure.
Yep.
But yeah. Now I think that shout out to David Rovix, who has been self-publishing, self-hosting, and using Substack newsletter, and while they are a free speech platform, he's certainly been very pro-Palestinian, anti-Israel, and they have not censored him. At least that I've seen. So I will give them credit there. But I think a lot of what they do is their algorithm reflects what you subscribe to and what you look at.
Yeah.
Which is what I do. So I don't really see the noise.
Yeah.
So you said you had like a rant or something prepared.
Oh, yeah. not a whole lot, but I realize we haven't done an episode since the election. Some of you may have seen, that I got to be on with Kit and the gang that evening. I was the only person that really thought that Kamala Harris was going to win. I was bracing myself for that the most, so I guess that's what I wanted to tell myself was going to happen. I felt like all of the over-the-top hunkering down that they did in major cities leading up to it,
boarding up like windows in stores.
That didn't feel like that was because of the Harris supporters. If you thought they were gonna go wild if they lost, that was obviously in anticipation of what Trump supporters would do if they lost. And I also kind of felt like they wouldn't have pushed Kamala Harris through the process and down everyone's collective throats so forcefully if they weren't going to carry her all the way, if that wasn't what's for dinner. But I was wrong on that,
Thankfully.
I will say, yeah, I definitely feared Harris administration more than I did a second Trump administration for a hell of a lot of reasons. Again, neither's a good option. I shouldn't have to remind people of that. But one of them is pretending to be our buddy still, and that's just ludicrous. But I do love that they're already like floating her for the next primary. Like this time they're going to have a primary. If they do decide to fire up primaries again, then I love that. They're like, well, Kamala's obviously the front runner.
They're already trying to plant narrative. It is remarkable.
It was so frustrating because a part of me, again, I'm trying to be patient with people, trying to forgive people being so heavily propagandized. Po Buddy's nerfed. I was, one of them once. Again, I voted for Obama twice. So I really try my best to be patient with people. And I did think, well, if nothing else, suddenly everyone that's been tuned out for the last 4 years is gonna have to pay attention to this shit again. Suddenly you won't be able to ignore Palestine because now it's Trump's war. But I took for granted how bloodthirsty liberals are and progressives are, Democrats at large. They really, more than ever, it's like they couldn't wait to drop any pretense of giving a shit about anyone over there. Really, they just couldn't wait. It's like, finally, now we get to quit. I'm gonna go have my Starbucks. I'm gonna go eat some McDonald's, and you guys get what you fucking wanted. Hope y'all get deported. Enjoy watching Gaza turn into a parking lot. And the fact that so many people tweeted that exact thing makes me feel like, again, that's the fucking paid DNC message for the day, is go tell everyone, I hope you're happy, you got what you wanted. And then the immediate, next day NPR response of, well, maybe America's just deeply sexist and racist and wouldn't support a woman no matter what, especially a woman of color, and leave it at that. And then a day later, it's not just let's say Americans are just ignorant. Let's pick a few groups and blame it on them. They're like, looking like Latino voters cost Harris the race. What's this? Oh, we're just finding out it was the Arab vote that fucked Kamala Harris over, not her policies. And I'm listening to that, and then in the same breath, NPR starts lamenting how we're going to have all this horrible racism. The next 4 years are going to get so racist because Donald Trump's back in office. I was like, the call's coming from inside the house. Like, you're
Big
sitting there
time.
just trying to stir up
Yep.
as much finger pointing. And again, it's always, let's blame people of color, people with a conscience, poor people. Those are the three. Never people in power. Never point the finger at them. Whose fault is it we lost the election? Poor people, people of color, and people with a conscience who wouldn't suck it up and vote for a war criminal. Those are the people you blame. And I love that even in states where they sued and got the Green Party off the ballot, people are still blaming the fucking Green Party.
It's like the hot dog guy. We're all looking for who did this.
Yep, exactly. And what's frustrating, I was thinking about something that that Nick from RBN had tweeted, and it was something about how with communism the self-analysis is baked in. That's part of it, is looking at what you could do better, and if there's a failure, it's recognizing that we all lose. If America is losing, it's not just one group of Americans overall, and I was trying to think, what kind of fucking terms can I put that in for people to where it makes sense, because there's such an overwhelming need for people as soon as they lose an election to need to finger point, to need to decide whose fault it is. Otherwise, things would have been great. If it wasn't for this whole group, or the fact that social media let people say what they wanted, and it's, to me, the difference of, if you've ever played a cooperative board game, any kind of tabletop game where you're all working towards the same objective, even if you lose, you immediately all start talking about what you would do differently next time, what you could have. You've already got the strategy in mind. You're all kind of on the same page with how, where the shortcoming was. And you realize that it was, again, a group effort versus something like Monopoly, where at the end of it, friendships are strained. One person was clearly losing for a long time, and you knew they weren't going to win, but you just had to watch them kind of piddle around with the same pathetic bit of money for a long time, never knowing they were going to get anywhere beyond that. That's what used to be the working class in our country.
That's just
It's now the
America
people
now.
who know they're not going to win. And they're watching someone else just fucking raking the money, and they just get enough when they come around the corner to maybe survive one more go around the board
Until they hit the income tax square, and it
even
costs
then,
them.
It's just so hard to get people to look at it as how disappointing for everyone that these are our choices. Isn't this like a net loss for the whole fucking country? But that's just the power of team sports politics, is getting everyone to split themselves up into tinier and tinier little factions, so you can just keep finger pointing and saying, well, in 4 years we can get these guys out of the picture, well, everything will be good. We've got this election in the bag. We'll run Kamala again. Just do something about these Latinos and Arabs, and then we'll be fine. And that's literally now that's what they're onto. Is like, it wasn't the candidate by any means. It was that a whole bunch of entire groups suddenly, where this whole group is a monolith, they all don't know well enough to vote for their best interests.
Yeah.
As though anyone in this country gets the opportunity to actually vote for what's in their best interest. Like, that's ever on the menu.
Well, when you're in Congress, you do, because that's their class.
Right, well, for sure, exactly.
So what do you mean? Everybody has influence, don't they?
Yeah.
There's literally that. Okay. Mm-hmm. I was saving this rant.
Who couldn't guess the retail price of a candy bar?
I was actually saving this, and I might actually still write it into an article. So I'm not going to go too deep into it, but we sit here and we ask ourselves all the time, how is it that people anywhere can be so disconnected from what's happening, in the world, and specifically what's been happening, with our money and with our weaponry in Gaza and in Ukraine the last 3 years, that they literally don't know what's happening. They don't know that it's happening. They never see it anywhere in their news feed, on their news. They never talk to anybody about it. It's literally nowhere on their radar, and they would have to look for it and seek it out in order to know that it was even happening.
Exactly.
And they live in a bubble where there's no possibility that they can even do that.
Yep. Well, it seems like there are plenty of people that all of a sudden, thought that as soon as the election was over, Trump got back in charge, and that up until that moment, we hadn't been supporting Israel. We hadn't been supplying them with 2,000-pound bombs or anything like that.
Oh, no.
All of a sudden, it's like, boom.
Joe Biden's Hamas.
Now you got what you wanted.
No, Joe Biden's Hamas. I mean, that's been the narrative. He's been too pro-Palestinian. That's literally like the narrative was. Well, maybe they didn't go hard enough for it. Israel. What? But I spent over a week where not one person ever talked about it. I mean, it was all over my news feed. I couldn't get away from it. But nobody around me in the world that I was in for over a week even acknowledged that it was happening. And and then you go and you open up Twitter and you lose your mind and you say, how the hell?
Yep.
How is this possible? Part of it's social media and the segmentation of our news feeds, and how isolated and personalized social media has become for each one of us, and how differently everybody else experiences stuff from how we do. And every single person gets a different kind of social media experience. Mm-hmm. Whereas we all think we all kind of have the same social media experience. That was enlightening for me.
Yeah.
And I'm still working through it.
I almost got on Facebook for the first time in a long time this morning and just posted, you would think head of orthopedic surgery found raped to death would be a national news headline and not say where it took place, and see how many people asked what, and then how quickly they stopped giving a shit as soon as I would say where it happened, you know?
Right. And where and who the doctor was and the nationality of the doctor.
Exactly.
And yeah,
it's gross how many people were so quick to say, well, it's uneducated people, people without college degrees making the wrong decision, not voting for their best interests. I think I finally decided which is worse, whether you are voting to continue a genocide actually out of genuine ignorance, or knowing that you're doing it and convincing yourself that it's some kind of pragmatic, 4D chess that you're playing.
It's got to be the latter to me.
The two. It's definitely that one.
It's got to be the latter to me.
It's definitely, if you can know and try to
justify it.
But I don't think there's a lot of try anymore. The more and more I see of a lot of people, I think it was the pretense they had to keep up of caring, and it was exhausting, and they're tired of doing it. And I think that's what we're going to get now, is we're going to get a whole bunch of people who are still smug and think they're smarter than the average voter, and they've just managed to convince themselves that they're doing the right thing by supporting genocide, and nobody else just knows enough to be on their wavelength, that they're clearly they have such a higher understanding of politics that they're working, several moves down in the future. Something we just can't wrap our heads around, So
now that you say that, you wrote a piece about people like that.
Did I?
Called Pull String.
You know what? A guy started at my job who has been wearing a Kennedy 24 hoodie and water bottle still, and it's all I can do. It's all I can do.
Tear him to shreds and destroy his worldview in about 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. The McDonald's, him with the McDonald's has very much a Mitt Romney at the restaurant, or even Jim from the, like a Jim from the Office, or a.
Yep.
Oh,
I love. What did someone say? Like, when you make the new guy in the cartel do a shitload of drugs to prove he's not a fed.
To prove he's not a cop. That's exactly what it was. That's exactly what it was. He was definitely not happy, but he had his Chris Christie get back on a fucking plane moment right there.
Yep.
That's it. And you have to humiliate yourself before the king at some point. That is in order to be accepted. It really is a humiliation ritual in so many ways. But Earl of Laurel, I was just talking about this. Who, what, where, why, when, how, all used to be in the first sentence of an article. Now they answer a couple of those and leave a question mark in the headline. Yeah, because clickbait was more important and getting the view in the first place, because if you give them all of that up front, they're not reading anymore and they're clicking to the next thing because they've given everybody goldfish brain.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
Thank you, Vine and Twitter, for that, partially, but the commercials and everything. We went from, 30-minute, hour-long shows to 30-minute shows that were 22 minutes with commercials. And it just kept, and Disney destroyed it and gave us even worse stuff they just screwed up all the timing breaks, and it starts on the 28 and then the 14, and just to mess you up and not have you watch anywhere else. That was my kids. But yes, Cynic would wrestle you to the ground for that apple, Jesse, apparently, is what she's saying. He's tuning, so we can't hear him. But yeah, it was really weird to sit in a world that just did not want to whatsoever acknowledge what's happening in the real world. That will intentionally drive 10 miles out of their way to avoid somewhere that they heard there might be a protest, and they don't want to see that, and they don't want to show that. They don't want my kids to see that, and honestly, I don't really want my kids to see that too, because that's going to then open up a whole can of worms that I'm then going to have a discussion with my family about and I need to provide the other side because I can't just sit there and shut the hell up the whole time. But
Yeah.
it's been a challenge for sure. Go Gadget Maha! Holy shit!
I love that.
So good. Oh, and Crab made a very funny video with that too. So shout out to Big Mad Crab. We need Stroll Through the Ruins for this topic, maybe Anna. We're gonna get something here. So yeah, so Jesse said he had some stuff he wanted to work out and get through. So we'll still be doing that probably more. And I'm ready to hear some tunes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm ready to play some. I think I did this once. Maybe I did it as a spoken word piece and I didn't actually play it. But did you want to bring up lyrics or do you want to just have me?
I can bring up lyrics.
It's up to you.
I can bring up lyrics and
Chat, do you want lyrics or do you want to just see this guy?
see the money maker?
And I say that, let's do lyrics.
You want to see the money maker?
Let's pop over to Radio Silence.
Oh, okay.
Little March of Dimes.
Nice. I think you did play that once. It was a long time ago. Yeah. Hold on. Let me zoom that in and nice. There we go. And then we're gonna do this.
March of Dimes. Family fun run cancer bonanza. Front page of apartheid times. All of the charm of a car bomb. Arms wide open and taking no targets alive. Dark was the night, save for a red glow painting the sky in a sickening light. Like a scene out of hell or a day in an utterly alien life. Where the fire runs wild. But these are the years where the wild is more your daily drive. To wrestle the truth of extinction from out of the jaws of your pride. Open them wide, now is the time, there's nothing to fight. Placid or sworn to defy, the end is the same and we're inches away from the line. So abandon your ego to die, the bed that we made is where we go to die. But never was passing in one's own sleep such a hideous sight. Such a storm of convulsions and bile expulsions from out of our mouths and our eyes. These are the rights they implore us to exercise, with our signatures forged and our hands all tied. And with eye contact and a senator's smile, they thank you for saving democracy right as they tighten the binds. Right when they're joining your chains to your neighbors and leading you out in a line. Call it the March of Dimes. One more charity parody. Hold back grants while we dance for the president's salary. Funding the bunkers where all of the wealthy will cower to witness our steepest decline. To err is a trait so inherently human, and to hoard enough wealth that you peacefully sleep when those humans are burning alive is so truly divine. If divinity really means withered and fully decaying inside, you can live with yourself till you run out of wine. You ring for a drone off a prime, skim a little off of the top of the March of Dimes. Sign of our system of capital, head to the sky with a hideous cry. It mimics the suffering families out in the street that it spent its career just passing by, who were part of the great design. Part of a citizen base with its fate resigned. Part of a two-party system where both of the goals align. And the end result is more housing crisis than the plot device of 2009. Capitalism demanded a sacrifice. So I walk to the square, hand them my son, and they hand me the dice. I roll for his life. To a lesser extent, you could say I was rolling for mine. I called any favor, I'd paid any bribe, but it's all up to me for the roll, so I close my eyes. The sound of the crowd is the same for a 1 or a 5. Two equal outcomes playing as though they're on opposite sides. And I know in my heart that on 4 out of 6 he'll be fine. but I can't seem to roll them. I can't let them go. I'm just holding them tight. I'm just holding him tight. Can't seem to roll them. I can't let them go. I'm just holding them tight. I'm just holding him tight. And that's March of Dimes.
Yeah, it's been a while since I heard that one too. Yeah,
Right?
live for sure. I think you played that like really early, like first
Maybe
4
once.
or 5.
Yeah, like, yep, first few episodes or something.
Yeah, so I don't know if you got a chance to check out Friday night's show, but what I ended up doing this week was I went back and I remixed all of the performances from the first 5 episodes of the show and put them all kind of stitched together. Only performances. It was 31 performances, songs and spoken word, and it was great, dude. I mean, it was just outstanding, just bangers straight through all the way.
That's awesome.
And you guys can go. Anyone who wants to go back and go and listen to that. And again, it's all meat and no filler. Like, it's just straight pieces. And you got American.
So
the first time he played American Tradition, like the second song of the show. Sunday morning, number 40. He did the Red Pill. That's now the outro for How Do We Miss That for 2.5 years. You know, like, it was really cool to kind of go back and cut all those because it was like a trip down memory lane. And now that we're at a 50th kind of look back episode, I thought that it would be cool to go back and re-listen to those. And Cynic says that she just wishes that you had your guitar for a lot of that stuff, and
those early ones, yeah.
and you can hear the progression and how much you slowed stuff down since then. In general,
for sure.
But how things really haven't changed all that much at the same time. You know, we're still in the basement, and you know you don't have an 05 GMC with an iPhone 8.
That's true.
Trying to take down the DNC because we know we're not doing that anymore.
I still have the iPhone 8. This is still an iPhone 8.
My volume is way louder than Jesse. Okay. That is still an iPhone 8. Okay. So
one fun little thing
that?
to note tonight. So last stream would have been election night. I left all my little battery powered tea candles on. They were all dead. So tonight, for the first time in several months, we have the actual candles lit again.
Well, we know why.
I figured for episode 50 we might as well.
For our patron saint and sister of censorship.
Yeah, right.
Tara. You got the book there in the shrine.
Our Lady of Perpetual Shadow Ban.
That's right. Well.
Okay. Let's go ahead and get this one out of the way. This is the one that's stressing me out. This song, I love this song. I really, 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 really love this song. But my God, it's so hard to do anything else while I'm playing it. So it's so fucking hard. So I've put it off, but it's one of the only ones I've never done. So why not? If we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it on episode 50. I don't think he's in right now, but he will be later. So we're gonna put this one up for Anthony, for Cowboy Kitty, because I think more than anyone else, he probably quotes this one. So bear with me here, folks. This is People, Everyday Grief. Oh yeah, so you can bring up lyrics. Indie, we're doing People, Everyday Grief.
I was like, yeah.
From the album Live from the Black Side.
People, well, I quoted you this morning from it when I asked for it. I'm like, I don't think you've played this on the show yet live, so let's do it. And I get why it's a challenge. That'll be fun.
you don't think I see you crying in your cars, but I do. Sometimes I can feel it at a red light, someone at my side trying to muddle through. See them wiping their eyes in the rear view, like black hole sun in the sky. Why the fuck won't you come when I need you? This moment in time is as close as we'll be, and as far as I'll meet you. 2 windows in between us, new moon in the house of Venus. One stranger who sees you, reads your features, knows that your alibi might be tight, but it's not quite leak-proof. So if you're sitting at the light and you're crying in your car, just know that I see you. And it's a 50-50 that I'm bloodshot, gun-shy, once bitten, twice tried, ribs pride wide to the sky till I'm see-through. I see you struggling to breathe, but I do. I see you stumbling your everyday grief like I do. I try, but I do. I'm twice bitten too. My mind's split in two. My knuckles bright white from the 10 to the 2. And the song in my head is a theme for a fugue. A theme for that fuck, god damn it. A state of decay through the filter of corporate news, where they edit the grays and the blues. They whitewash the brown so you drown out the natural hues, until it's just another fact to refuse, that the corporate ladder's for hanging the company noose. Consider it one of your perks, after all it's communal in use. You can come and hang till your legs go limp and they're shaking you loose. Now you watch 5 co-workers opt for the alternate exit, neatly suspended above where you wolf down your food. And your company gets its incentives embellished by harping on wellness and reminding you should take time for your mental health after your 14 hours are through. Like we gave you a bottle to piss in and fixed up a noose on the crossbeam. Christ, what more can we do? So if you struggle to breathe any moment that you aren't asleep, then remember, most of Americans fear for their savings, fear for their shelter, fear for their babies. You aren't the fringe of exception, but rather a perfect example of capital's rule. And you're far less alone than the ruling class tells you is true. Far less alone than the ruling class tells you is true. You don't think I see you crying in your cars, but I do. God damn it.
It's touch and go, but we got there.
Oh, it certainly was. Well, we can say we did it. Check it off the fucking list.
Yeah, we got everyday grief out. Okay, we got people done.
God fucking damn it.
Okay, dude. Well, look, you trip yourself up on your own fucking lyrics. It's rough.
I know.
It's rough.
Past Jesse strikes again. I'll hit myself with a belt when we turn the cameras off. It's all right.
Okay.
Like the guy in Boardwalk Empire.
Steve Buscemi?
No, the other guy, the guy that plays the federal agent. There's an episode where all of a sudden we see him sit in his bedroom on his bed and just start beating himself over the back with a belt.
Oh, dude, he's so good.
Okay, interesting.
He's the guy who played Zod in one of the Superman movies.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a great character actor.
Michael something or other. I seem to recall. But
let's do a little spoken word something, and then
jump back to the music.
Okay.
You mentioned we haven't done Meat Speaker since it was like first written.
No, we have not. The glitch.
So we better speak to the meat.
He didn't run, right, for re-election. He did not seek re-election. Now, did somebody take his seat, or he's not up yet? I think he was 26. He's due to retire.
Jesus Christ. Really?
He stepped down as leader, at least. So we don't have a meat speaker in that way. We now have John Thune as the meat speaker, technically. Who's the Israel cucking meat speaker, apparently. Yes.
Oh, that just flows right off the tongue, doesn't it?
It sure does.
You Israel cucking meat speaker. It's like, that sounds like Yosemite Sam cursing up a storm. It just...
Give a big shout out over to Andrew, Action for Assange over on Twitch. He's watching on Twitch. We are twitch.tv/Indie News Network. We are over there. Not very many people watch, but we do have a channel over there. We're also live on Kick. At some point, we are going to be number 1, number 2. We hit 50 followers, so that's good. Yay. Yay for INN Kick. We're over on BitChute now, so you can check us out over on BitChute. The BitChute! And of course, we're live on Rumble, but nobody chats over there. I don't know what the hell's wrong with Rumble. Everybody else seems to do fine with Rumble, but nobody watches over there. It's weird. I'm live on we're live streaming this to INN Telegram, t.me/Indie News Network. You can watch it over there too. There's Super Racist Barbecue. More. We've already got like JJ Bibbs and what's the one that Steve came up with? Hard R Barbecue. I remember hearing that.
Oh yeah, I can hit you with some glitch sample. Hang on.
Glitch sample? I don't know what that is. Super Racist Barbecue. More. We've already got like.
Oh wait, that's you talking.
That's me.
Stop that.
I hear me. Don't they say turn down your radio when you call into the show?
Sorry, first time caller, long time listener.
Rookie move.
All right, I just want to play that little Mitch sample because once I had to bring the gain up enough to be able to hear what people were saying around him, the little whispers from the people around him were so great when he froze that first time. Because one lady goes, "Oh, he's stuck." Like it happens. Like it's not an unusual occurrence. And then hearing the guy goes, "Mitch, is there anything you'd like to say to the press?" And he goes, "Huh?" And he goes, "Is there anything else you want to say to your press? You want to go back to your office?"
Right.
So here's the infamous.
This week has been good bipartisan cooperation and a string of Okay, Mitch. Anything else you want to say, or should we just go back to your office? Do you want to say anything else to the press?
I love that you can hear you burn the fucking apple right in the middle of that. I hear the sizzle of the weed burning in the apple is so fucking key. Love it.
Mm-hmm. That's one of my favorite. Like, you always get the lighter, but there are times I really try to lean in and get the good like.
Yep, and you can hear it burning.
There it is.
Yep, the singeing afterwards, amazing. So good. Yeah,
that's my dedication to the craft.
Yeah, I love that.
This is what I do for all of you because I love you so much.
Yep. Reef has the sound.
See what you make me do.
Yep, that's
okay
for the craft. So we're gonna meet speaker.
So with that done, let's meet speaker it.
All right, I have it up here, and let's go back to reading. Thank you, the Accord Lord. There we go. Oh, it jumped across the screen. Yay.
Okay. All right, folks. You ready?
We are ready. We're queued up.
All right. Let's do it. This is Meat Speaker. Our greatest threats are lesser evils, joining hands to hold us back, worried looks from heartless people, tearful words from soulless hacks, faux concern from thieves and rapists, thoughts and prayers from Epstein's friends, moral laws from fascist racists, healthcare laws from Cigna's pens. Bought and sold progressive leaders say we're starving much too loud, but all I see are meaty speakers talking down to hungry crowds. Squad and all their sleazy leeches feast on workers plump with clout.
Stalk them through the tallest grassroots, track the unions, drag them down, reap their labor, eat their labor, none too proud to suck it out, none too shamed to freeze your wage, then beg for change like fund me now. Rush me $20 or our democracy will surely drown. Rush me $20 so we can cluster bomb 100 towns. Rush me $20 and once you've emptied out your bank account, you'll get to say you've made us proud and BlackRock gets to take your house. Just rows and rows of perfect clones of vacant homes, raised to bones, then carried off by corporate crows, beneath a gaping sky where nothing lives and nothing grows, but hungry money swells and bloats, and money-hungry grifters gloat to fleece the coats and trust and votes of sheep and sacrificial goats. They coax their hopes like open throats, where leeches feast on helpless hosts. The offer sees their beast invoked. The BlackRock altar belches smoke. It rises that the world may know they've christened 2 new CEOs, one for press and public show, and one that just the board will know, who wears a crown of migrants' hands and smiles when the cities flood, who's been anointed head to toe in workers' rights and children's blood, who bought the bill that soaked organic vegetables in fracking mud, who made his billions banking on technologies for tracking us, who filmed us every day as we kept smiling where the camera was and streaming from our cancer clusters, chatting up some Langley bugs who take the time to listen when you think that no one gives a shit. They're nice enough to help you sow your discord into stripper clips, lead you to an act that they have planned out like a business trip, show you where the buzzwords go when manifesting manuscripts. It's manufactured terrorism, crafted by precision tip, sanded past all recognition, ground beneath clandestine grit, carefully conducted by the feds and the orchestral pit, watched by millions, none the wiser, smiling wide, applauding it. So who yells fire in the theater when they don't smell the hint of smoke? And what audience, enwrapped and eager, rises up as one to go and flees as from some gnarled reaper, leaves those actors there alone? Who would hear one frantic teacher, warnings blared through tears and foam, say, rob yourselves of entertainment, leave your seats, but don't go home. The war outside is greater than these actors care to show. We've one night left before containment. Early dawn, they'll drop the dome. The streets tonight need all your anger. Playing now, the fall of Rome. And that's Meat Speaker.
Sure you want to go back to your office, Mitch?
Do you have anything else you want to say to the press?
Anything else you want to say to the press? Dude, that was perfect. That was just banger. That was excellent.
Oh,
so good. Letter for letter. I mean, just with the enunciation, just you want to just rip his face off. Yep. Yes. 100%.
Let's do one more spoken word piece real quick. Let's jump over to And Then the Sky Slammed Shut.
Okay, we don't get very much of that. That's kind of an overlooked album, I would say.
Right? It's one of my sleepers. The Eyes of the Sun.
All right.
This was one, again, an awful lot of my family are true blue Democrats, and we're very, very, pro Kamala. Not just like, well, she's the best we got, but like, let's fucking go, Kamala, So it's hard, sometimes you gotta let people be, and if you're not gonna change everyone, but it's hard when it's people you really love and really, really care about. Because, you see what they are taking in every day as the truth of the world about them, and it's depressing, because it's designed to help you see people in Palestine as less than human, so you don't
you're not bothered, and you can go on about your life and, you know, live for a whole week and never hear it or see it. There are an awful lot of people that, you know, said how much they wanted to not think about who was president for 4 years. And I am very firmly of the belief that we don't deserve to be able to do that. Nobody deserves to be able to do that. Especially when we're doing what we're doing, when we're funding, you know, 70% of this, you know, there aren't even words, even genocide just thrown around so much, and it's so easy for people to shrug off. What do you, Holocaust, massacre? Like, what do you know? It's the worst thing humanity has done / had to endure that I can think of. In, you know, and also knowing that we, even with all that we get to see of it, there's no way we get the full picture, you know, with how quickly they're mowing down journalists, and how quickly shit gets memory hold. You know, when you see estimates of the dead ranging from 20,000 to 200,000, like, what the fuck, you know, it's you know,
I mean,
again,
they already conceded
I'm running
40,000 last December, and that number seemed to have frozen. And then the Lancet study came out and said 186,000, and people lost their minds.
Yep.
And that was still months ago.
Yep.
I mean,
So anyways, this piece was born out of that, out of struggling to let it go and not try to change the people who you really, really care about. I am very, very lucky that my wife has been so radicalized over the last few years, because, you know, in the very beginning, when the first record came out, she believed me, but I also could tell that it's a lot to take in. It's a lot to hear at once, because I was being flipped quickly. All of a sudden, I was like, oh shit, all of this has been a lie. Oh, holy shit, we're the terrorists. Like, it was, you know, there's a very steep, once you fall down the rabbit hole, sometimes you're just plummeting. And in the last couple of years, especially, you know, watching the world a little bit more closely, just because of what I was involved in, all of a sudden she's right there with me, and I couldn't make it through seeing and processing all of this if my partner wasn't on the same wavelength as me. If I couldn't talk about politics and world events with them, I wouldn't have the bandwidth to keep doing this. So shout out if she's watching, or if I'll just show her this later. But it really did, like, it's originally I was like, well, you know, we'll figure it out. This can just kind of be my thing. She doesn't have to completely get it, but I can't be as consumed as I am and not be able to express it other than just in the music. At this point, I'm putting out one record a year at best. So,
like the guy who put out all these records and all that time.
Yeah, right? No, I'm just like, I don't want to do it anymore. And it's not like it's all written. It's just this record, especially. There's never been such a less clear path of where to start, what's track 2, where does it end. Like, I want everything to cut in and out so much and kind of jump around, and I want to afford myself a lot of time to do little other things. So I'm taking my time with it, because I want it to. It's okay if I hit, like, honestly, a B- on this concept. I'll be happy. If I feel like I got most of the ideas across, like 80% of what I wanted to pack in here, I will be happy, because it is admittedly super ambitious compared to what I usually do. But that's all the more reason I want to do it, because there are an awful lot of songs that I wouldn't be able to get in any other way than this format. So we'll actually do this spoken word piece, and then I'm going to play something from the next record. And And hopefully I won't fuck it up so we can use it for a single. So this is off of And Then the Sky Slammed Shut. And this one's for anyone that's got family that you'd love to be able to try to get through to. That's something you got to kind of hang up. This is called The Eyes of the Sun. It isn't rare for me to witness one of propaganda's victims spitting back the facts they're given. I've learned it's better not to listen, lest I find myself compelled to try and help them grasp the greater picture. I walk away, contented not to bother. But that's harder when the victim is your father. When it's a man who saw beyond the feeble reasons we were offered to go occupy Iraq, till after 20 years of slaughter, that democracy we came to spread does not extend a centimeter farther than the army bases stocked with armed marauders. This isn't foreign land, but Dad, I beg you, please don't drink the water. Please don't view the news as something other than a transcript of the sheriff's office blotter. There aren't any officers worth half their salt. I can't recall a decent cop. The brush with which I paint is something broader. The brush with which I paint conveys the shade of beaten daughters, of officers who trafficked children, shielded by the guise of honor. Shielded by a culture that uplifts them to such high regard, it overlooks the powder mark that always was their calling card. And now we're told to fall apart at Biden's feet and make a plea that he can find it somewhere in his hollow heart to call off all his oligarchs and LEOs in army garb with army tanks and lethal arms and carve a path to peace between these monumental prison bars. It isn't hard to listen to the rabble spout the script. They memorized it from the instant it departed Clinton's lips. But once you're standing stunned and hearing State Department clips from a voice that taught you right from wrong, you're loath to come to grips. You'll start slowing to a crawl until you're low enough to limp, and you'll be pulled between just holding back or giving Dad a glimpse of every hospital they've bombed, of each civilian that they hit, and pose to take a couple pictures and say, look what Russia did. We are cooking all the history books from now until Berlin, but we're not the fucking heroes here. We're Nazis counting limbs. We lied about Gaddafi and Saddam and Ho Chi Minh. We're the Fourth Reich, shining little city on a hill of sins. We got a taste for war and ain't been civil since. We will show up at your doors and you will let us in. We will colonize your pores, commodify your skin, and you'll consent to this and more if you're not vigilant. Or Jesus, even outright militant. How many citizens could hope to glimpse the light again if they signed on the dotted line to sacrifice the wiring out their filament? And mind you, winter's imminent. What could you expect from those you've trained to know they're only worth donations they can make to those a half a world away who daily writhe in NATO's throes on top of years of Nazi occupation? We're so used to being bled, so what's another leech or 10? 'Cause once your blood is not your own, it matters not the destination. Be it on the altar stone of Capitol or in the river. Be it in the streets, 'cause the police saw you were moments from committing free speech, and so justice was delivered. Or be it in a glass for Bill Clinton so he lives to see another winter. This is cattle syndrome, if you need a raw descriptor. It's passive pasture victims slurping CIA scriptures out the cistern. Only change the water every midterm. It's democratic progress via inchworm, tethered to a twig while Harris breaks it down to kid terms. Watch me lock a full body cringe like a pinched nerve. Watch me try to stop the clip fist first. Watch me spend a half an hour staring at the window till the first verse, fifth verse, and all that's in the middle hits my fingers with a ripple on the Richter that is suited more for those who see the war than the unwilling listener, who block out all the bombs along with native whispers that drift along the wind with a familiar whistle, or plummet from the sky like hellfire missiles. The sun observes it all, the leaves that fall on thistle, the truth that's underneath the skin betwixt the gristle, the truth that leaves your lips and brings your swift dismissal. The sun withholds his speech. It seems the only words he knows are those that sow division. The sun can see the truth as from the windows of a prison.
The sun can see the dawn before it's even risen. The sun can see it all, though he may wish he didn't. That's the eyes of the sun.
The S-U-N or S-O-N? So
You be the judge.
and especially fitting and poignant, being that last week I was with my father for the week of the election.
Woof.
Oh, it was actually kind of fun, because this is a man who my whole life was a hardcore conservative Republican until Donald Trump took over his party and booted out all the people that he thought were brilliant. The Frums and the
Oh, okay.
oh yeah the worst of the worst. All right. and I'm trying to think of the other guy, the other smarmy consultant that I can't stand. I can see it's Frank
Smarmy
Luntz.
consultant.
Luntz is another one.
Yep.
And then
Yep.
and then you've got Bill Kristol. Like, he thinks all these guys are brilliant and learned, and it's like, Jesus Christ. So, and all of them, of course, abandoned the Democrat, the Republicans. They became Democrats, as did he. The party. Look, we tried to get the Democratic Party, to come to us, and they went corporate towards Republicans. Mm-hmm. They ran towards my father. All right. Mm-hmm. He is exactly who they catered to. He is exactly who embodies a Democrat, a wealthy, out of touch person who is beyond his years, on his way out, doesn't really want to know from much except what he already knows. Forget what's actually happening in the world. What I think is much more important than that. All right. And, you know, you used a line in here that just fucking hit me, because it was like a double entendre. Now I don't remember if it was in this one or in the last one, but it's the same thing you said backwards. And I was like, holy shit, that's so fucking great. And now I can't find what it is, of course. But yeah, I it's better not to listen. I mean, we really, so on election night, at 11 o'clock, of course, they announced basically the results, and we all know that Trump was going to win. And I was saying the whole night, you know, and look, it's not looking good, and they're holding out hope for Pennsylvania, and they're, you know, it was sitting with somebody who had the hopium, and finally at 11:30 they just turned off the TV and went to bed. They were done. and it was just kind of a moment of glory in a way, because it was, you know, this is what they wanted to continue that way, and to have it just altered and broken when they get just about everything they want anyway. And their lives aren't materially going to be changed one way or another. It's just the way they wanted it, because the way they wanted it. That kind of felt good, because I was calling it 6 months in advance and saying, you guys don't understand what's happening here. I live in a red town, in a bluish collar town for New Jersey, and I drive down the streets. I drive through different towns. I can tell you what's happening out here, and it ain't leaning your way, guys. And you can't believe what CNBC and MSNBC and Fox News and Bloomberg and all these corporate propaganda outlets are spewing at you. And they were just flabbergasted, as were all of the shit libs on election night. And the Schadenfreude, and again, you know, Kit went 2 days or 3 days or almost a week, I think, of covering the meltdowns. Everything. I didn't want to go that far, but it was fun for a day or so watching Twitter. I want Jesse to come back. I want to hear his day. It was fun watching the meltdowns on Twitter for about a day. My favorite part, of course, was Leftist Mafia.
Oh yeah, that was real good.
Guess we all gotta get new jobs now.
Dude, David Dole and Oliemi both quitting the entire
nom,
thing.
nom, nom.
Nom. I cannot get enough of that. Now, I know they're going to be back. I know it's not real.
Oh, of course.
But just to hear, first of all, to see the look on their faces after they were so sure that they were right and so sure that she was going to win in a landslide and the shit that they talked. Oh, that was so glorious. And then it was just like, well, I guess I shouldn't be doing this anymore. Exactly. Yes, that's right. I wish more pundits were actually like honest with themselves about how badly they assess this. How badly they were at the job they claimed to be doing. How badly they led all the people that were following them.
Are we the baddies?
and that it was literally professional malpractice the way that they behaved to not pay attention. And because of it, they're sucking up the oxygen in the room for networks like INN, for example. So get the fuck out. That's what I'd say. So that was fun for about a day or so. So I get you. And yes, listening to the cope. Now, the whole other side of this is, again, now listening to the revisionist history and the hand-wringing and pearl-clutching about the 101 hostages still remaining, while never acknowledging the 40,000 bodies that they're standing on top of.
Yep.
Is a level of disconnect, and I can't even describe the what's the word to describe what that is? I mean, it's hypocrisy in so many ways to focus on, and it's racist and secular, and it, while claiming to be the morally superior people on top of it. I mean, it's just on top of and then they wonder why I'm so angry all the time. Why can't you just put this down? Why are you so consumed with this? Why can't you just enjoy life? You've got a great life, and you're doing okay, and you don't have to pay attention to any of this, which is exactly why I have to. And that's what I say back, and they just stare at me with blank faces. Like, it does not register. So
yeah, I mean, shit, once you know, there's no unknowing. If
it's red pilled, man.
All you can do is be aware, and the least you can do for those people is bear witness, because a whole lot of people can't be bothered to do that, and shit. If all I have to offer are poems and songs and a few sobbing meltdowns a day, that's what I'm doing. I'm doing my part.
If I played those for my father, he would literally melt down. Like, I don't know how he would like. First of all, he would call look, it would be bad, and I got grandkids.
I've been called a Clinton operative, a Russian, and a grifter.
That's right.
And Hamas.
And Hamas.
Actually,
now,
I haven't been called Hamas, to be honest. I haven't.
Well, all you would have to do is walk into my dad's house, pal. Just show him the tattoo on your forearm.
At work the other day, someone said, "Hey, did you see this jug of flavoring? It said it came in on the 7th." And for some reason, I thought October 7th. I was like, it's been a while, and I haven't seen one recently. And then a minute later, he's like, "No, it says that you process it in inventory. It's there. It's got your name on it." I was like, "Oh," I was like, "Sorry." When you said the 7th, I just started thinking about October 7th. I was like, "Guess I'm not beating those Hamas allegations anytime soon. Am I right?" He didn't really laugh, but I thought it was funny.
I don't even think he got it. It went right over you again.
What was great though, and a little terrifying is one of the managers at my job came up one day. He's like, "Hey, guess what I did this weekend?" I said, "What?" And he said, "I listened to a whole bunch of your music on Spotify." And I said, "Uh-oh."
Am I fired?
It was great. No, he was like, "I'm totally on board." He was like, I love some of your stuff about Biden." He said, what was it? He said, "There's so much coming at you in the lyrics, like so much to process.
Yes.
He said the first song I listened to was Buying the Theft. And he's like, it was like eating a full pan of brownies in one sitting. And I was like, man, that's like the nicest thing anyone's ever said about my music.
Wow.
I want to put that as like a testimonial on vinyl if I ever make a vinyl.
That's great.
Maybe like fucking ayahuasca brownies or something. Something with a powerful hallucinogen in it. But it was so great. I was like, it made me so happy. So anyways, let's
That was you, not
I wanted
me.
to do this. Greg, our own Mad Crab, asked if he could record a cover of this song. And for those who don't know, covering one of my songs is pretty much my love language. It made me super happy. But this is going to be on the next record, and I haven't played it in a while. And I wanted to play it how it's going to be played on the next record. And that involves this little guy, which is a band guitar.
Nice.
So guitar, strings, and neck, but the banjo head.
That's great.
So it's unfortunately right-handed, so I got to play it backwards. But again, it's a sacrifice I make for the craft. So. Well, my granddad was a miner, mighty long ago in Butte, who spent his whole life scraping by, who never left his boots, till someone bought his bosses out and he'd outlived his use. They let him go, they trimmed the wage, and they hired someone new, and he learned that that's what job creators do. Now walking through the heart of town, I see my daddy's shop that he shut down when the superstore got putting down the block. He didn't have a lot of choice to work there all the same, for half of what he made when he had something to his name. Told me that's the way it is, that's business through and through. And he told me that's what job creators do. I watched a lot of poverty start blooming in this town, and I've seen too many families out sleeping on the ground. When I offered help, I got harassed by Sheriff Brown, as he grinned that kind of grin that said, I'd love to put you down. But if I owned a mine and I enslaved them for a crew, I bet he'd call me a job creator too. How 1,000 mouths are hungry for your bread, and they'll say that to succeed you need to step on people's heads. Those suckers might be starving, but it's better them than you. They'll tell you that's what job creators do. They'll tell you that's what job creators do.
All right, we're definitely gonna have to break that instrument out more often than that. Right. Bro, that was great. Are you kidding?
It's so fun. It's so fucking fun.
Dude, it's so good. I love it. Adam Ayers loves this song. We love Adam Ayers. Charlie Mack. A Git Joe, not a band guitar, but a Git Joe. No, it's not called a gitjo. It's called a banjitar. Because it just rolls off the tongue.
Oh, I'm sure I could. Hang on, see.
Slap banjo.
When I heard him talk about welfare, I assumed the corporate kind. Billions loaned to criminals who pinch your every dime. All the must we keep so flush, they got money to burn in the sky. But that's useful clowns out punching down on folks in a food bank line. Think you got a little propaganda on you when you soaked up all those songs. Cause you're following the son of an emerald miner on a place called X.com. And you're watching bathing PPP and you can't see something's wrong. But it grinds your gears when the check appears at the door of some single mom. See, if you don't ever see it, who is subsidized if they make 7 figures a year? You might want to look into the deficit you got sitting between your ears. And if you don't know you're working from your ruling class and you can't tell up from down, you might want to keep a word like a welfare out of your corporate spoon-fed mouth.
Dude, the way it was meant to be played was on banjo. That absolutely is how it needs to be played.
Oh, God.
That goes on the country music station for sure on the album. And I don't know why you would not consider putting that. I know you were gonna do outsource in the Utah Phillips style or the. Wow. All right, you're getting deep.
Let's try that.
Deep
I am. You get look at you. Ooh, you know your chord progressions, Indy. Let's try it. Let's do it. Why not?
All right. Well.
I guess this isn't such an awful place. And what you want me to say, you prove it's possible to sleep for days and to still think you're right here awake. The cost of living isn't much to make, but God, it's so hard to save. And when he told you everything was safe, you safe. You safe. I guess this isn't such an awful place. Is that what you want me to say? You prove it's possible to sleep for days and to still think you're right here awake. The cost of living isn't much to make, but God, it's so hard to save. And when they told you everything was safe, well, you were safe. Oh, well, you were safe. Fresh off the masses, the brand new cancerous growth, who has come here to vie for your vote. Come here to cry at the camps and to mourn at the shore for the bodies that float by the wreck of an immigrant boat. Then it's back to their luxury home. Couple security booths and a moat. Couple cigars, little escargot, little booze and a soak. They just breathe in the steam and the smoke. They got pink salt, lavender, candles are low. Shit, when you do what you do, gotta lighten the load. And he got a life of its own that's a sight to behold. And it's a lot to control, to decipher the code or to siphon the soul. See, the cost of a good night's sleep for the working elite is a bargain no matter the toll. It's worth any wager, and that comes straight from the mouth of the means to the goal that will swallow us whole. It's ripe for the picking if you don't mind mold, and you know I don't. Maybe we're pleasantly prone, maybe we're taking a licking, compliantly ticking and ticking and ticking, but never explode. No, I don't deliver the prettiest image, but damn if it isn't an accurate vision of a natural vision of a rage at the system and abject heartbreak, patiently waiting for any who'll listen. That little blue bird who was watching your words is a federal carrier pigeon, a Langley first. It's a patient observer who hears what it wants and is trained for the worst. Aw, you got nothing to hide? They'll be the ones to decide that after they root through your purse, after they read all your texts, after they raid your apartment and confiscate all of its contents, conjure up evidence out of the air on a wing and a prayer and malicious intelligence nonsense. All of the honest innocence long since gone, right along with your comforts and constants. See, historically, first they will come for the communists. So why in the fuck would I say I'm a communist? Well, it might be I love my community more than the monsters of opulence who are holding us hostage, who are vomiting promises. Might be I'm all done seeing our pensions and benefits harvested. Might be I'm all done watching the populace being disarmed in the guise of an armistice. Watching a woman collapse on the floor who will rise no more. She's wheeled out the door and you're next in line for the pharmacist. If you can get me to vote, it's a hard no confidence. But part of the charm of deception is politics wearing the mask of incompetence. See, it's all in the art of austerity, darling. It's all in the slide of the providence. Till home is as wide as your cubicle height and only as deep as your coffin is. Maybe I'm miles away from impatience, aching to break off the head of the snake where the capital lust, reptile brain, and margin of profit is. Like, off with his... Off with his. I guess this isn't such an awful place. That what you want me to say. You prove it's possible to sleep for days and to still think you're right here awake. The cost of living isn't much to make, but God, it's so hard to save. And when they told you everything was safe,
were you safe? And that's Depop for those.
And that's Depop culture.
And that's Depop
on Banjitar.
Fuck yeah, dude! On Banjitar. Damn, dude. Upside down Banjitar. Just because.
God, ain't that the truth?
Dude, that reminds me. So that was also one of the songs that we played was when you did Through the Eyes. All right. That was episode 3 or 5. So that was Friday night I watched again, and just the speed and yeah, your hands were killing you after that one too, I remember.
Yep.
You're like, all right, I'm done after that. Like that was that. You get one more song after that, but I think it was spoken word. I think you were done playing because it just it killed your hands to play that. But so
okay, let's dive right into another. Let's keep it going.
Let's do it.
Let's jump forward 2 songs on that record.
Nice. Here we go. Extremist is, I think that might be kind of like the people's favorite of all of the albums. If they haven't been with you from the very beginning, there's a lot of palatable stuff on there, and especially Kit playing it regularly on Hardlands.
Those I think all 5 of those songs on that EP are my top 5 songs on Spotify. I know Depop Culture just broke 1,000 plays on Spotify. That's first song to do so.
Awesome.
Spotify is definitely not my my biggest medium, but I do have more followers there than Bandcamp now. So fair play to Spotify.
All right, so I have Blocking Light queued up, so we can do lyrics.
Yeah, let's do it.
Good luck.
Thank you.
For those who don't know, this is a hard one for each of us to get through.
Right.
And
I did this song
muted.
once. Did this song once on here, but yeah.
I think it might have been for Cynic's birthday, actually.
I think you're right. Yeah, this was a song I wrote about my son. This is called Blocking the Light.
I tried to block the light. I knew you could feel its glow. I've been here holding my hands out, trying to keep you close, trying to keep you close. Set you free, but I really want to let you be. And part of me wished I could set myself aside, just let you take the ride, just chalk the rest up to destiny. I could let you believe that the only restraints in life are the size of your dreams. Let you believe each kid grows up with the world at their feet. When I know too well that it's open season, I know they're taking stock and raising stocks and raising stock. And I'm simply not here to sit and watch as you learn the lesson all cogs are taught. Keep your head down and keep to task and just keep on blocking the rest of it all out. Just keep on with the rest of the herd of a million adjacent oblivious workers. The forest unseen for the trees, and the trees unseen for the fallout. Now what's more damning, baby, the truth or the ignorance? Fuck it, I honestly wonder if I see the answer so well. Baby, believe me well, I know it's scary, I scare myself. If I could find a way out of my head, I would run like hell. I would ditch this body politic minus occupant somewhere far from the dismal abyss. In the tranquil and crystalline bliss of the beach, I could rest with the rest of the shells. And if anyone asks, I'm anywhere else. And if I'm really needed, just light the candle, then read the book, and then ring the bell. Oh, my untarnished heart, my little perfect soul. This world will melt your mercy down so they can sell its gold. This world will take your worth, then demand 1,000-fold. It's full of greedy pigs who'll eat you out of house and home. They'll strip your bank account and sweep you somewhere down the road, and then return to eat your tent and shitty bike you rode. Your bottled water, only shoes and coat and broken phone. Then smiling in your face, tell you that the shelter's closed. I hoped you would never find out. I knew that you had to know. Pulling what's left of my mind out, trying to tell you so. I tried to block the light out. I knew you could feel its glow. I've been here holding my hands out, trying to keep you close, trying to keep you. Oh, my untarnished heart, my little perfect soul. This world will melt your mercy down so they can sell its gold. This world will take your worth, then demand 1,000-fold. I tried to block the light just so I could keep you close. And that's blocking light.
Yes, damn. Although it's super intense to done. Wow. Damn. Well, Cynic's not crying. Anna's not crying.
Good that no one's crying.
No one's crying.
Look at us. We all made it. We're all doing so good.
Cowboy Kitty is in the house. We have a Malecki sighting.
Are we doing one more off this record? I think we are.
Let's
go back to the
Model
beginning.
3.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I know we talked about doing that, so shit where you please.
see, what would that be? Got it. Oh, that's it. Okay, it's C minor to C. That's bizarre. I wrote it, but that's fucking bizarre. It makes way more sense on piano, but looking at it on guitar, I'm like, that should be the other way around, but it's not.
We need to get the lyric, Polyrical's description. It's a brilliant and powerful hammer. Smash that facade.
Welcome to the future. Shit where you please. The Wi-Fi's killer, but there's no more bees, so there's hardly any flowers. There are very few trees, and you'll pay $1,000 for some honey for your tea. But we got these awesome callers. Mine's an Apple Model 3. It allows for better movement than the Tesla X Elite. It lets you customize the ads that it implants in every dream, and for premium subscribers, doesn't shock you in your sleep. But it doesn't stop there. It can analyze your speech, and if it hears disinformation, then it notifies police. It's a swift re-education, but it knocks you off your feet like your booster every 7th week. See, I faced the future boldly with 2 eager open eyes, and I picked a couple nuggets up that blew my fucking mind, like you can taxidermy someone while they're technically alive, and they'll shine when it's election time. Oh, the Democratic voter base will pay them zero. Never mind if voting for the scarecrow is a vote along their party lines. They could stare into its marble eyes and claim there's something dignified. Unlike real politicians, this one doesn't need an oxygen or kit supply. But its function is the same as those who came before. The goals are never misaligned. Still spends all of its working time performing pre-recorded fleecing sessions where it sugarcoats your slow and hungry genocide. All while pouring billions into Nazi coffers, selling you the story that we're moments till the MiGs arrive. So fuck it, ask Zelensky if he'll help replace your leaded pipes. Watch a fleet of Penske show, stacks of bills in every size. I guess it only took a black sun and a couple hiles. Honorary goose step in some Nazi boots a quarter mile. All while Biden sneers his sordid smile. I don't know what was in this morning's vial, but it makes him stare 1,000 yards through all the prompters and the cards like he can smell the nearest child. His eyes are wide and wild, wider than the grave in which another 1,000 families were tossed in as I typed till they rose up to the sky, unceremoniously piled. Which sort of flies right in the face of all that network ticker tape where the American economy has superhuman vitals. You know, I like to think my trial's gonna play like a recital. I'll denounce the world around me and accuse the most entitled, who weaponize their titles, whose pull is something tidal, who'd starve us all to death to best delight their blinded idols. So they might destroy the record, and I will never get to vinyl. So my word is not immortal, but it's final. Apple Model 3 slave caller.
Dude, you know, and I've listened to this dozens to hundreds of times personally, but all while Biden sneers his sordid smile, which he literally did this week while he was greeting his buddy Donnie in the White House. He never looked happier in the last 4 years.
Yep.
Honestly.
Ain't that the truth?
All right. Don't know what was in this morning's vial, but it makes him stare 1,000 yards through all the prompters and the cards like he can smell the nearest child. His eyes are wide and wild. Like, did you write this yesterday? Because it happened this week again. Like, first of all, he did the 1,000-yard stare into the fucking crowd and then turned around and walked into the forest. You saw that video yesterday, right? Where like he
it looked like the set of Gilligan's Island. I couldn't get over how just
where was he going?
I know.
And why didn't anybody stop him? Like they just let him walk. Like Joe, where you going, bro? Like So I said something earlier in our chat. I don't know if you saw it. In the American Tradition chat, but I would be willing to deliver on the karaoke that we've been promising for a while. For our 50th. So
yeah.
So if you will queue up Dust of Better Days, I will give my version of Dust of Better Days and Bad Cookies.
Okay.
What?
I'm playing it acoustic?
Yes. I hope
okay, because we will have some latency issues. You will probably
That's all right, because I'm recording you separate.
Okay,
gotcha.
Separate
track.
Okay.
So I will at some point be able to mix this so that it will line up, but I'll be able to mix it afterwards because we broke out that now I'm recording you on a separate track. So
wait a second, hang on. I'm used
so
to
now
doing
all I
that
have to do is
right-handed.
just kind of slide it over a little bit. Oh my god! Bad guitar, Dust of Better Days. I love it. It's the Dust of Better Days. You gotta sing it. You gotta sing it with an accent. Oh my god, dude, that's really good. Dude.
I'm sorry.
That is outstanding. I wonder why there's a delay if you and I are talking on StreamYard, but I guess. SWAT team took your neighbor today. Watch them as they walked him away. You told yourself extremists come in all different shapes. Met his eyes and lowered your gaze. But is it too late for us to ever change? Once we're collecting the dust of better days, they're always watching us, but we're never safe. We're not meant to be saved, not meant to escape. We aren't meant to wake. Sheriff stopped your daughter today. Pepper sprayed her twice in the face. He must have had good reason if he treat her that way. At least that's what they taught you to say. But is it too late for us to ever change? Once we're collecting the dust of better days, they're always watching us, but we're never safe. We're not meant to feel safe. We're not meant to escape. We aren't meant to wait. 19 took your neighbor today. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. And that's the Dust of Better Days. Indie style.
It takes all my focus to be able to play it because I'm hearing you sing it like 2 seconds behind.
Yep.
Where I am, but I have to keep my focus, but I wanted to keep following you so bad. It's like my brain was just, oh my God. I was fighting for my life there.
Nice, dude. That was good. That was solid. I don't know how it came out and sounded to everybody else. It sounded great to me. But yeah, we'll mix that up for sure. I'll be able to fix the audio. At one point, like, I don't know what the hell is going on. If you're losing power, it like froze for a second and it messed up the whole tempo and timing of everything in one of the verses. But no, that was good. That was fun. Yeah, it was the feds. They arrived and had me detained.
Right.
You know,
I got one more
also in the last. Which one was it? One of them where they show up at your door. Feds show up for something else that you wanted posts changed. But I was thinking immediately about Asa Winstanley and everybody in England that has literally had cops knock on their door for social media posts and
so
being
don't
arrested.
you touch that dial lest the feds come swarm your door. I guess it isn't safe to say things like I don't support the war.
That's right. Or
may Palestine no freedom from the Jordan to its shores.
That's right.
Or I'd love to see our senators get trampled by the poor.
Fuck yeah.
Sploosh.
You know, almost like we should start a militia and make Congress a prison or something.
Right. Ooh. So, I feel like for episode 50, it's only fitting to close out with this song, as this has been the kind of unofficial closing song of so many episodes. And if this was a live variety show that had an extremely long, drawn-out goodnight song a la Saturday Night Live, this would be the closing song. So, if you want to pop it over to Inauguration Gift, we're going to be closing her out with Red Pilled.
I liked it better being blind when I couldn't read between the lines. Couldn't see the cracks in the structure that lay bare before me the whole time. I think I liked it better back when I suspended disbelief and swallowed pride. Thought I knew the difference in the red from the blue, but they both bleed us so dry. Both bleed us so dry.
My favorite songs don't hit the same way. I get to the end of a 4-minute track and I'm only looking back thinking, what did they actually say? So I try to sit down with my wife and watch TV, but I just see propaganda elevating the police in the simplest of sitcom banter. The tiny little altars full of offerings to corporate masters in every well-planned wide pan shot of the name brand stocking up the pantry. Pull back one long tracking shot out to the garage to the logo on the Camry. A nice tight shot of the Camry, close-up view of the Camry, slow pan up on the Camry, long slow zoom to the unmoving human who's up in the front with a tube pumping fumes to him straight from the back of the Camry. Ashamed he just could not provide for himself, let alone for his family. It's a blue pill mindset that spent 2020 making dance beats.
lines. Couldn't see the cracks in the structure that lay bare before me the whole time. Well, I think I liked it better back when I suspended disbelief and swallowed pride. I thought I knew the difference in the red from the blue, but they both bleed us so dry. They both bleed us so dry. Ignorance is bliss, which explains why a lot of us are so fucking happy. Quick to take the trip for all its trappings. Never one to ask what's up, what's going on, or God forbid what's happening. A lot of us would strap into the ride and spit right in the eye of the guy whose job it is to snap your fastening. Oh, maybe we're all born with that capacity. Maybe each of us comes standard with humor, compassion, malice, and audacity. Some of us are blind to the system, but some see it fine and say this is how it has to be. Some of us can stare wide-eyed at a nationwide human catastrophe, only offering platitudes and recipes. And fuck, I wish that I could tell myself nothing's worth obsessing past my everyday necessities. I wish that I could cry fake news over anything that threatened me, tune out our abuses and consume a little levity. I wish that I could offer up my son a smoother destiny. I wish I had some better lessons when I had to answer questions on the things I've been perpetually questioning. But I'm too busy looking at our leaders, wondering what I must be missing from their messaging. I'm trying to find the reasoning to let 250,000 people meet an early reckoning. And even though I know the truth, it's hard to swallow something that's so literally sickening. Hope is ever dwindling, COVID ever beckoning. Winter slows your breathing, but your pulse is ever quickening. Even though I know the truth, it's hard to keep listening. I'm done with my epiphany, my innocence is blistering. I like to think I'd taste the earth before I'd ever kiss the ring. Hard to speak the truth and harder still to keep listening. Sometimes I think I miss being blind, when I couldn't read between the lines. I couldn't see the cracks in the structure that lay bare before me the whole time. I think I liked it better back when I suspended disbelief and swallowed pride. Thought I knew the difference in the red from the blue, but they both bleed us so dry. Both bleed us so dry. And that's Red Pill.
And that's like a perfect version of Red Pilled on top of it.
Right? Oh, man. Tell you what, sometimes I'm aware that I have a good take going, and it's like you looking down, you're like, oh, shit. I'm like 2 frames left, and I'll bowl a perfect game. Right? Don't fuck up. Like, do not fuck up. All of a sudden, I'm looking at the like, oh, I go, don't fucking damn it.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Charlie Mack, I'm gone for 10 minutes and Jesse starts stripping. Very nice. Very funny. Very good. By the way, that's your American tradition. Get your merch. IndieNews.shop. You can get your American tradition tank tops. Look at him showing off the merch. I'm actually wearing an Indie's Tech Tips t-shirt tonight that I did on IndependentLeft.shop. But you can check that out.
That's awesome.
Damn, dude, that was incredible. Yeah, like just again, so literally, it's I know the truth. It's hard to swallow something that's so literally sickening. Yep, like that's what we're dealing with right now. Like, how do you unplug? How do you unred pill yourself? You know, and just go back and erase everything you know and act like you didn't.
Yeah. Yep.
Like that's what I've been dealing with.
At some point would like to get a tattoo with one lyric of mine, like the lyric that I feel like is the best descriptor. And I really think hard to speak the truth and harder still to keep listening might be the line. I might get that wrapped around my wrist like a bracelet or something, because that line really, it's a shame it's such a downer line, but it's not like I have a whole bunch of really upbeat lines, you know.
Actually,
that
it's very
and the
funny.
one from what was the newer song? The Cut the Lights. The night I lost my mind was I delivered. That was another line that I was really, really happy with, that I felt like fit all of this really well.
You know, last week, and I think I made T-Lab was on with Steve, and Steve was talking about you, and he mentioned to Ryan, like, his lyrics are so heavy and his words, it's like they'll super depress you out and then you'll get super uplifted like 5 minutes later. I'm like, yeah, that's Jesse.
That's awesome. Yep, he knows the brand. That's fantastic. Can I play that? I think so. What is it? Oh, that's the wrong guitar. I was like, boy, that sounds like shit. Hang on.
Was that Life in the Red?
No, hang on.
Yeah, it was the internet, Cynic. I don't know what the hell's going on, but it did it during...
Love, why wouldn't I cry a little? War is on the rise, peace belittled. War is in their eyes, chlorine in the skies. Some still try to hide inside the middle. So love, why wouldn't I just cry a little? Darling, when I cried beside the river.
Fuck. Nope. I just became so distracted by the fact that I'm playing the song a whole step higher than it was written, and I've never done that before. And I'm thinking in my head, like, there's a really high note in the bridge of this song. I wonder what's going to happen. Okay, let's start over from that last one, shall we?
Darling, when I cried beside the river, could have split the sky. I sobbed so bitter, I told myself goodbye. Now, darling, who am I? I'm still surprised that I'm not dry and withered. Now that time, couldn't I have just cried a little? I think I lost my mind. I got the picture, just set the script aside and solved for scripture. The theater roars to life, the screen leaves people blind. If nature cut the lights, God, I'd forgive her. So the night I lost my mind, was I delivered? So honey, you will find that nothing's civil. All the greatest lies are something simple. of our lives, we'll throw it to the tides. Just promise you won't try to divine the riddle. Just sit with me while I cry a little.
And that's Cut the Lights in 2 segments.
That's Cut the Lights that Indy's gonna have to edit and
Let's say
stitch together.
It's the IKEA version that requires some home assembly.
Those damn dowels! I swear, those dowels.
It's the Kuthalize. That's the IKEA brand name.
The Kuthalize. Kuthalize. Very funny. Very good.
Well, guys,
All right.
again, this something
Yep.
about getting to do this with y'all every couple weeks, 3 weeks, whenever, illness providing. Yeah.
Therapy.
Like I said, therapy can't be better than this. There's no way. So,
Seriously.
yeah. Here's to 50 more with way less inspiration to come in the future, God willing. I doubt it.
Goodness.
But yeah, that's one
let's
thing I gotta
predict.
say. I was like, a Trump presidency is a Biden presidency, is a Obama presidency, is a Bush presidency.
Is
But,
Reagan's 12th term?
yeah. I did definitely feel like there was going to be a whole wealth of material to be had from Kamala as president. That said, I'll take low-hanging fruit. Like I said, you all know how much I love low-hanging fruit, and I don't mind if Kamala goes away for a few years and I don't have to hear that laugh.
Or ever.
Yeah. So, yeah. Thank you guys for 50, and here's to 50 more.
How many prediction? How long will it take us to get to another 50? It took us 2.5 years to get to the first 50.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that also, remember, we got to actually meet in person in those 2.5 years. You got to play your first live show in New York City in that time. What the other performances, and then you're going to do Third Eye Carnival, it looks like, in Nashville in April, so everyone can start to plan potentially for that. I know you've got an invite, and Anna's
maybe I haven't heard from anybody yet, to be fair. So I don't want to count any chickens.
We've got to make that. No, I know that we can make that happen for sure if you want to play. And if you're able to make it, basically at the beginning of April. But I know that Steve will. Yeah. Steve and Scott Armstrong, I believe, from Rebunked are planning the Nashville one. And I know that Ryan from T-Lab will likely be there, and that will be a really well-attended one.
Nice.
I might even try to figure out, I have no idea how the hell I'm going to be able to pull it off.
That would be awesome. Oh, that'd be so great.
My wife's talking about taking the girls to Nashville for a weekend, like, over the winter. So maybe I'll cash in and try to disappear and dip out for a weekend to do that. I don't know. I'm not making any promises, but I'll try.
Yeah.
And all right, so yeah, Sean, the Accord Lord, did hook us up. This is the new Wall of Fame that was updated last week. So all these people are amazing. Half of them are here in chat or have been chatting on the show at some point. That includes Bad Cookies. We did not see Colin tonight, so we didn't get a Jesse is Daddy for our 50th show. I'm a little disappointed in that. But I'm sure he's working on the show with Reef right now. They'll be live with INN News tomorrow night. Then Thursday night, we had a new show debut last week called Snow Himbo Streams. It was kind of a new show. So Politically Homeless is going on the show for a while. Crab is going to work on some other stuff. Himbo is going to be doing a Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern show every week called Snow Himbo Streams. He'll bring guests. He'll talk about geopolitics. He'll talk a little theory. Do you even theory, bro? Like, yeah. So he's gonna even theory, and then Friday, of course, I'm gonna
at
rerun
least
this.
once an episode, we'll get the breaking news that we've lost Joe Biden.
That's right, Joe Biden has died. We'll definitely appear at some point.
I don't know why that was ruining me on the election night stream on Hardlands. And even though I knew every time he'd be like, "Oh, guys, it looks like," I would immediately, I couldn't help it. I was cackling. I was like losing my shit.
Yes,
like, I don't know if anybody watches, if anyone watches Arrested Development. I was trying to explain to my wife that it was like every time Gene Parmesan showed up, how the mom would just scream and just lose her shit. I was like, every time I knew it was coming, like, "Oh, breaking, Joe Biden has died." I'm like, ah! I couldn't stop laughing. Oh,
right?
God.
That would be so goddamn good.
I'm a simple man with simple pleasures. You know, it doesn't take much to get a giggle out of me.
Magic. Yeah. All my God, where'd it come from? All the time. I was going to bring up, the calendar to show what else we have going on this week. But yeah, we've got...
Oh, that's right. Thanksgiving's coming up.
That's next week.
Mm-hmm.
That's next Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
So we got that going on, and then open with.
And I got my kid's birthday in 2 days. 2 days.
Well,
yeah.
You
well,
played,
technically now it's a day.
You played
Friday.
The
Blocking the Light and Cut the Lights, sort of a sister song in that last verse at least.
Right, because when I beside the river, the when I cried beside the river stuff. Yep.
The very last bit, so honey, you will find that nothing's civil. All the greatest lies are something simple. The story of our lives, we'll throw it to the tides. Just promise you won't try to divine the riddle. Like, don't worry about trying to make sense of all this, because there's no fucking sense to be had from it. Don't drive yourself crazy trying to wrap your brain around the world, because it's just a big shit show.
Well, no.
That's my fatherly message I'm passing along.
Well,
May I offer you some nihilism in these trying times?
I got to pass that to my kid too.
Oh, God.
Yeah, but yeah. So this is what the week looks like. 9 streams. Support independent media. Support your streamers. We definitely need some cash to keep going. I owe Zago about $250 still. I was just tallying that up. We're almost there. We're getting close, and thank you so much to everyone who's contributed to that. And then we'll figure out what we want to do next. There are some people that definitely need some help out there. We might want to help, but we also have some bills to pay, and we haven't done that in a while either. So,
right.
Just we got a pretty big restream build coming up next month, and that's the Hub software. People ask, what is your tech stack? Like Canva, we use Canva to do all our thumbnails and make a lot of the artwork, videos, and the trailers, and we use Restream to push out our stream to all the different channels that we stream to. And that's a $700 a year bill just on its own. So that's going to be coming up at the end of next month. And but that allows us to stream 365 days a year to every channel we go to, and we use it almost every day. So it's a critical piece, and we really again appreciate everybody contributing. We certainly enjoy doing this for you, and appreciate everybody coming to hang out with us. And we'll be here making it. As long as you keep showing up, we'll keep making them. And even if you don't, I'll keep making them. So support independent media again. Like I said, we need it more than ever. And we will see you in a couple of weeks after Cyber Monday's over. Holy shit.
Oh, yeah. All right.
All right, everyone.
Drink water. Don't do drugs unless you're bored.
Love y'all. Night.
Who are these people? Who are these people?